was no discussion on inflation, GST, falling rupee. So what really happened in Parliament today? I'll tell you. A very hostile exchange between Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani happened in Lok Sabha. Now, what triggered it? It was a comment by Congress's Adhir Ranjan Choudhary and his Rashtrapati controversy. We'll tell you about that in a bit. But the big headline coming in from Parliament is that extremely confrontational and hostile exchange between Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani. Now, the Congress has accused Smriti Irani of insulting and heckling Sonia Gandhi. The Congress and TMC MP Mahua Moitra have accused that BJP MPs, along with Smriti Irani, encircled Sonia Gandhi like a pack of wolves. They surrounded her, they heckled her. But the BJP, on the other hand, has alleged that Sonia Gandhi came to the Treasury benches in the Parliament and spoke to one of the BJP leaders in a very threatening tone. However, she did not take the BJP leader's name. So before we get to the bottom of this, let's give you a background of what really happened. Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Choudhary made a comment on President Draupadi Murmu. He referred to her as Rashtrapati, which triggered a massive exchange, massive outrage from the ruling government. And that exchange took place in Parliament, following which this exchange between Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani took place. Let's first listen in to these reactions that have come in so far.
Sonia ji sanctioned the humiliation of a poor woman who was sent to the highest office in this country. You sanctioned the insult of every Indian citizen due to your male Congress workers and leaders have continued to demean the office of the President of India. Apologize to the nation. Maafi mango is desh se. Maafi mango Sonia Gandhi Adivasiyon se.
Ma'am, will you ask Adhir to apologize?
He has already apologized.
When I went there, I didn't hear any of this. I saw her speaking. There was a lot of commotion that was going on. So it's very difficult to say who said what. But to the best of my knowledge, Sonia ji mentioned to me that she went to speak to Rama Devi ji. And Rama Devi ji and she had a chat. And then there was too much commotion there. So nobody really knows what happened.
All right, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Ranjita and Samia on the broadcast to understand, because this is very rare that happens in our parliament when it concerns such senior leaders. First, let me start with Ranjita. Ranjita, आज जो संसद में हुआ, दोनों तरफ के बयान आ रहे हैं, कांग्रेस के भी और बीजेपी के। बीजेपी के लिए हम सामिया के पास चलेंगे, लेकिन कांग्रेस का क्या कहना है? क्या हुआ कि स्मृति ईरानी जी और सोनिया गांधी जी के बीच में इस प्रकार का संवाद हुआ, इतना गुस्सा और इस प्रकार का हॉस्टाइल एक्सचेंज क्या हुआ संसद में?
देखिए, आज संसद के जो दूसरे हफ्ते में आज जो सेशन की जो शुरुआत आज हुई सत्र में, मौका था अधीर रंजन चौधरी को घेरने का, जो स्मृति ईरानी ने बखूबी किया। लोकसभा में जो सत्र है उसकी शुरुआत के वक्त ही उन्होंने ये अपना बयान जो है वो जारी किया और ये कहा कि न सिर्फ राष्ट्रपति से बल्कि पूरे देश से माफी मांगनी चाहिए और अधीर रंजन चौधरी ही नहीं बल्कि सोनिया गांधी को भी माफी मांगनी चाहिए। हो हंगामे के बाद सदन को स्थगित करना पड़ा और उसको हंगामे बात कही जा रही है, जो कहा जा रहा है कि सोनिया गांधी के साथ नोकझोंक की गई। कांग्रेस तौर पर ये सोनिया गांधी बात करने जा रही थी और उस दौरान बीच में स्मृति जो है वो नारेबाजी, बीजेपी के कई और सांसद थे, सिर्फ महिला नहीं बल्कि पुरुष सांसद भी थे और वहां जो स्थिति बनी थी उसको कहीं ना कहीं जो बीच बचाव की जो नौबत आई उसमें सुप्रिया सुले और टीएमसी की कई महिला सांसद जो थी उन्होंने बीच बचाव किया और सुप्रिया सुले सोनिया गांधी का हाथ पकड़कर वहां से निकल गई। कांग्रेस के नेता नाराज है और यही कारण है कि इस पूरे मामले को वो प्रिविलेज कमेटी तक बाबत 22 सांसदों ने पत्र भी लिखा है स्पीकर को और ये भी कहा है कि आप पूरे मामले की सीसीटीवी जो फुटेज है वो बाहर निकाला जाए और से एक महिला के साथ और खासकर जो महिला उनसे उम्र में में ज्यादा है और कांग्रेस की शीर्ष नेतृत्व है, इस तरह की घटना कभी भी संसद के किसी भी पार्टी के साथ, चाहे वो सत्ता पक्ष में हो या विपक्ष में, ऐसा नहीं देखने को मिला है। और कांग्रेस राजनीतिक तौर पर इस मामले को आगे भी भुनाएगी। इसको लेकर बीजेपी मुख्यालय पर प्रदर्शन किया, स्मृति ईरानी का पुतला दहन किया, तमाम जो राजनीतिक जो स्थितियां हो सकती है वो हो रही है, लेकिन पॉलिटिकली राजनीतिक तौर पर इसको किस तरह से घेरा जाए, संसद में किस तरह से कांग्रेस पार्टी आगे बढ़े, इसको लेकर भी रणनीति बन रही है।
Gee, Samia, for the benefit of our viewers, could you tell us what the BJP's rebuttal is? Congress has made some very, very serious charges because it concerns their president. And in fact, TMC MP Mahua Moitra has also accused the BJP of encircling Sonia Gandhi, in her words, like a pack of wolves. And she also claimed that she was encircled and surrounded by BJP MPs. But the BJP's version is completely something else. They are saying that Sonia Gandhi spoke in a very threatening tone to BJP MP Rama Devi. What can you tell us about this?
Well, firstly, whether it's the BJP or the opposition, no sides are willing to pull back any punches. While the Congress party claims that Smriti Irani was heckling, in a sense, in a tone and tenor that she spoke to Sonia Gandhi, but the BJP's version is definitely something very different. BJP maintains that, in the first place, they are not satisfied with Adhir Ranjan Choudhary's apology. They feel it's a sham apology, they feel it's a cosmetic apology, and that they are not going to accept anything less than the Congress President Sonia Gandhi's apology. This is exactly what has drawn the ire of the Congress leaders, where they feel that Sonia Gandhi hasn't really done anything to apologize. But the BJP did see several of the BJP MPs coming out and sloganeering, demanding that it's the not only the president of the country, Draupadi Murmu, who has been humiliated through this entire phraseology of Rashtrapati by Adhir Ranjan Choudhary, but the entire tribal community is who Sonia Gandhi and Adhir Ranjan Choudhary should apologize. Nirmala Sitharaman came out to hold a press conference, and Smriti Irani had already held a press conference, but Smriti Irani over here is going for the jugular. She is demanding none less than Sonia Gandhi's own apology. Now, what BJP is trying to come forth and say is that Sonia Gandhi was aggressive in her tone and tenor, that she came towards the BJP MP Rama Devi, and she said when Smriti Irani tried to politely ask that can she possibly help, that's when Sonia Gandhi said that do not talk to me. Now, this is the version that the BJP is saying. Now, of course, the Congress party maintains that Sonia Gandhi, in her entire public life, and she's somebody who was an elderly MP of the Congress party. She's not only an MP, she's also the Congress president and the UPA chairperson. And that's the reason why we are seeing the opposition party coming out in strong support of the Congress president Sonia Gandhi over here, that she has never in her public life ever spoken in a derogatory manner to anybody. And that is the fabrication of the BJP. However, the BJP is claiming that Sonia Gandhi must apologize, and several of the MPs from the opposition who has written a letter to the speaker, they all have also maintained that, the BJP must try and control the manner in which they were getting aggressive on the floor of the House. But this entire flashpoint, as far as Adhir Ranjan Choudhary's utterances in regards to the president of the country, Draupadi Murmu, is concerned, that doesn't seem to end just yet, because tomorrow again, the monsoon session of the parliament, while it is on, we will be seeing this as a flashpoint between both sides, because the Congress party has decided that they're not going to let the Congress president Sonia Gandhi apologize, while on the other hand, the BJP is not going to settle until Sonia Gandhi comes forward and apologizes. And this is also panning out on social media. This is also panning out on the streets of Delhi. There are protests being held outside Congress headquarters. There are protests being held outside Smriti Irani's residences as well by the Congress workers and vice versa. So this is only going to flare up in the days ahead. Social media is also packed with several of this slugfest between the BJP and the Congress party. They're trolling each other. There are trends that are being put forth on Twitter as well. So this matter is not going to settle. Adhir Ranjan Choudhary has also said that he has sought an appointment with Draupadi Murmu day after to go and personally apologize to Draupadi Murmu. But what BJP is standing over here and saying is that it is not an inadvertent mistake. He said Rashtrapati twice, and then he emphasized on Rashtrapati. And they also go on to say that it's Sonia Gandhi who is leader of the House for the Congress party is Adhir Ranjan Choudhary, and that is the reason why it becomes her responsibility also to apologize, which the Congress party is not buying over here at all. They feel that Sonia Gandhi has done nothing wrong to come forward and apologize, and the BJP is deliberately snowballing this entire issue because they're running away from discussion on price rise, unemployment, Agnipath is concerned, while the BJP maintains that this is an insult not only to the president of the country, to women at large, and especially the tribal community, because we've seen from the background through which Draupadi Murmu has risen and come to become the first president, the first citizen of the country, as holding the highest constitutional post. Thus, this is seriously layered in several parts over here, where the BJP is saying that it's an insult for the women, for the president, for the tribal community, and that's the reason why Sonia Gandhi must come forward and apologize. So which side is going to bat first, bat the eyelids first? That is what we have to wait and see. As of now, no sides are willing to pull back punches.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ranjita and Samia, for getting us those updates on this hostile exchange between Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani in Lok Sabha. Let's once again listen into that reaction of Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani on the day's biggest development in Parliament. And it's not about price rise and GST, by the way.
Sonia ji sanctioned the humiliation of a poor woman who was sent to the highest office in this country. You sanctioned the insult of every Indian citizen due to your male Congress workers and leaders have continued to demean the office of the President of India. Apologize to the nation. Maafi mango is desh se. Maafi mango Sonia Gandhi Adivasiyon se.
Ma'am, will you ask Adhir to apologize?
He has already apologized.